Hey everybody, and welcome to the lessons to learn for October 2025 for the collective. And we are playing with the Oracle Spirit Animal deck. As always with these, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Like, comment, share, follow, subscribe, donate if you want to donate. Cash App, PayPal, MetaPay, or Venmo. Link in the description below, or you can ask for information. Personalized reads can be given. Just comment below and we'll figure something out. I do more than just tarot and oracle. It's just that's usually what I show in my work pages or my pages here. So let's see what the collective as a whole needs to learn this October. Oh, we got one. So we have the grizzly bear. He stands for power. This says, I am indestructible. I honor my intuition and go where it leads. Love and gentleness are my real strength. I never give up. I will succeed. So this is a strong lesson in protection. Protecting oneself. Protecting your instincts. Protecting your intuition. Standing up for yourself. Fighting an uphill battle. Knowing what you're getting yourself into may be dangerous, but taking the risk anyway. It looks like there's a lot of motherly love, a lot of protector guides and spirits, a lot of anthropomorphic beings that are teaching you power and teaching you empowerment and teaching you authority, teaching you to listen to your own intuition despite what your guides say, despite what your mind says, despite what your friends or your family or your church or your work or the president or the dictator or the monarchy or whomever else that's not you says. You have your own autonomy, you have your own free will. Being able to use that to your own moral standards and your own moral code would be the wisest and the most beneficial for you throughout the month of October, especially when in lessons of power or in situations of power plays or power of authority or power of attorney or power of autonomy. It looks like you need to be able to use your power in a way that suits your best interests and also helps you protect what you rightfully are owed. Entitlement, working on your entitlement, working on your narcissistic tendencies and traits. Knowing that you are indestructible when it comes to certain things and knowing what that means. Honoring your intuition means something along the lines of whether you agree with the feeling or not, or you don't, whether you have a logical sense of not following your intuition, whether everybody else is against you or whether you're the only one doing it. One of those things of you got to stand for something or you fall for anything, and you have to stand for something even if you stand alone. Going wherever your intuition leads and going wherever the road takes you and wherever the wind takes you. Listening to the sounds of nature and speaking to the trees and the wind and listening to the animals and listening to the living rivers and the babbling brooks and the creeks and the meadows. Listening to the gentle creatures of the night and the day and the morning. Love and gentleness are a strength, not a weakness. Just make sure that when you show love and you show gentleness, you are not giving away your strengths and not selling yourself short and not allowing other people to use that empathy against you. Because you have a very happy heart, you have a very healthy heart, and sometimes people like to take advantage of that. You have a very feisty spirit, a very tenacious spirit, a very enduring spirit. You don't want to give up and you never will give up. Even if you feel like you want to give up sometimes, for some of us, you'll succeed. It just may not look like the success that you've seen in the movies or seen in your head, or not quite in the way that you've expected things. So letting go of expectations and high hopes and being able to stay realistic without being too cynical. Keep trying even if you don't catch the fish the first time, in a sense. We also have the snow leopard, self-reliance. You are strongly independent and often solitary. Integrity is important for your best outcome. Cloak yourself with invisibility and walk with the shamans. Use your intuition and let your life unfold in silent perfection. So what this means is it's not always the best thing to speak out your plan. Not always the best way to speak out what your plan is, what you're doing, how you're going to get there, or anything. Because the more people that know, the more likely it is that somebody may open their mouth and have something set up against you, or unintentionally set you up for failure just because they didn't realize you wanted to keep it a secret, or they were under the impression that everybody knew, or they were under the impression that if you had known, you would have blown the whole operation down. It's one of those things where it's like self-sabotage, self-espionage. Relying a lot on yourself can be a hindrance, so just making sure that you're not over-relying on yourself or over-exerting yourself. Hypervigilance sticks out. Don't be so codependent that you rely on everybody else to do everything, but also don't be so hypervigilant and hyper-reliant that you end up doing everything yourself and then overworking yourself and burning yourself out. This is a card that also says to use your intuition. Both of these cards are saying intuition needs to be your guide. You need to listen to your intuition. You need to do what your heart says. You need to make your own decisions. You need to be reliable on yourself, and you need to rely on yourself. You need to find your own power source, and you need to find your own sense of power. Where do you feel most powerful? Why do you feel most powerful? When do you feel most powerful? How do you feel most powerful? What do you feel powerful doing? Life is going to unfold the way it's going to unfold, and we can't control everything. So just allowing things to unfold the way they are can help. Independence and solitary stick out as well. So being by yourself, being for yourself, and being able to take care of yourself. Remember, being often solitary doesn't mean that you live alone or that you're doing things alone. It just means that you prefer to be alone. You prefer to be by yourself. You prefer to do things like a lone wolf status. Kind of like, I'm getting like air vibes, like Aquarian or like Gemini or like Libra. Someone that's really in their head. Someone that's really like thought-provoking and like keeps a lot of things in their head and speaks out of protection, acts out of protection, even if it's against the morals of the household. So let's say you have a feeling of like you need to leave, but your guide's just telling you to stay. You need to listen to your intuition. Just because you're saying you want to leave and your guide's saying to stay, that doesn't mean your intuition is going to say to leave. It's not going to mean that your intuition is telling you to stay. You need to dive deep and you need to focus. A leopard cannot change its spots any more than a tiger can change their stripes, but that doesn't make them any more or less dangerous. So knowing what everybody's there for, knowing why they're there, and knowing how to best help can be helpful. And sometimes learning in silence and walking in silence and observing in silence and having some silence and solitary confinement can help. Like taking some time alone. Not necessarily like in jail for solitary confinement, but like hermiting or deep contemplation. And finally we have the penguin, which is authentic. Reach out to your tribe in times of need. Family gives you strength when you face a storm. Love your uniqueness. You are full of surprises. Break free from others' expectations. Just be yourself. Sorry, that was my elbow on the table. So what we have is authenticity is the lesson here. So make sure that you are authentic. Make sure that you are staying true to yourself. Make sure that you are putting yourself first and going to your family when you need to, going to your soul tribe when you need to, reaching out to your ancestors or your future self or your soul family for guidance, your starseed family, your counselor, your third party, your parents, your siblings, your cousins, your chosen family, whomever you feel closest to and that you can trust. I feel like some people are in the eye of the storm. Knowing that places are full of surprises, even though some of us may not like surprises, may be benefiting you or impacting you. So know that not all surprises are going to be bad. But that's what I get for October 2025 for the collective. As always with these, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Thanks for joining.